Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with Me, and we're going to make a couple of different embellishments for our journals today. First, it's going to be a pocket, and this is made from a junk mail envelope, and it's a little pocket with a flip up here. It's just got a little lid flip, as I call it. And we're going to make one of those, and then out of the remains, which is what I normally have, a few remains of our junk mail envelope, the window part, we're going to make some of these little hanging, I guess you'd call them hanging windows, or I wouldn't call them specimen cards, because what we're going to do is use just different things that are maybe in your stash that you haven't used before. Let me find something just in particular. Right, on here, let's just say you wanted to capture this in your little image here. You could do that, capture that in there, and then this would, I put a little eyelet in there, and then I put a little bulb clip, and then this could hang on the page of your journal. You could put white paper or tea-dyed paper, coffee-dyed paper on the back, and they could journal on it if they wanted. This one I just left it like it was. There can be journaling in between those blue lines. So it's just another thing to make with some of those little pieces that you have left over. And I always have tons of little pieces of paper left over when I do journals. Sometimes it's ephemera, sometimes it's just pieces of paper. Let's just say, sometimes I'll have things like this left over. And a small window would be good to use that for. So if you have those little pieces laying around, I'm going to show you what to do with them. All right, let me move some things over and we'll get started. We'll start on this. Now, on this one, I put that a little bit crooked so it looks like my window is a little bit out of line, but that doesn't bother me. I'm still going to use it, and it'll hold a large tag. Let's see if we can hold a large tag. So you can have it sticking out the top. You can put another word right here. You can put a word up here. You can put all kinds of things on it. This is one of Susan from Hello Susan's creations, and I thought I would use it in this journal because her roses seem to all blend. I mean, they all match up so well. So I thought I would use it in here. And you can put it on there like that. You can make these as tall, short as you want. It doesn't matter. I made mine kind of tall, and I'm going to put a tall tag in it with some seam binding out the top. So, and I'll show you just how well her different creations work together. Look at that. They work together perfectly. And there is some blue in this one too, so I love it. So that is going to go in my journal. So we're going to make one of those. So let me grab an envelope. Now you can use an envelope that has a window in it and just cover the window up, or you could go ahead and utilize that window if you want. I'm going to cover my window up just because I don't want to use it on this for right now. And I've got plenty of junk mail envelopes, so I'm not going to try to save this or anything. Now I'm making mine about 6.5 inches tall. This little piece I'll keep because that makes a perfect little short pocket. So I keep those. Now on the back of this, and let me get my other specs on top of my ones that I already have on. Oh me, double specs. My kids have really had a laugh about my wearing two different pairs of glasses. Melina said yesterday, she said, Mom, she was looking at me. She said, Mom, if you had a longer nose, you could put one more pair of glasses on your face. I said, yeah, you're right. If I had a longer nose, I could do that. Now, when you're gluing this down, only put your glue right up here at the top, or you'll glue part of your your envelope down. So only put the glue right there at the top. So that is what we're going to work with. Now, I like to cut these at an angle, just like I did this one, so that you can fold that piece down. You can use the template, or you can just kind of go for it. I just go for it on this because I like them different sizes. And I'm going to keep that, flip it over, put it over here on this side, and then I'll cut this one. And you do need to make sure that you cut each one of these the same, because if you don't, you'll have a crooked little flap there at the top. Go ahead and fold your flap down. Now I fold the front one. Don't fold your back one. You want it to stay upright. That looks pretty straight, Edith. I can't believe you got that straight the first time around. Okay, then we're going to grab some paper, and I'm going to grab the Susan paper, the Hello Susan paper. This is absolutely beautiful. This is from last year's collection, but with these roses, it's going to work great in here. So I think I'm going to use that right there. I do believe. Now, I am going to go ahead and ink all around this, because you can either coffee dye the whole envelope, which I think is a waste because you're not going to see very much of it. Or as I do, I just ink around the edges, and that covers my envelope real well. So you don't even know there's an envelope under there unless you want to look real close. So I just give it a good amount of ink up on there, just in case I don't get my paper down exactly straight. And then I'll have that, and it'll look like it's coffee dyed, and it's really not. Now I go ahead and fold this little part right here back, and I put ink on there, because we're not going to go over that with paper, because if you do, your little fold won't stay down. So I'm putting ink there, and then I'm going to put ink right here. And don't worry about being messy on this part, because when we cover this with paper, no one will be the wiser. Okay. Now you can measure your paper, which is what I'll do this way, and I'll do it with my little strategic tool here. This is called a strategic tool, measuring tool. And then I will measure the height. Now just go up to that fold, don't go past it. That's going to be my height right there. And then I'm just going to cut this off. And this is just another scrap from that same collection that I just used on the other one. I'm just going to look at it. I like to dry fit it just in case I have got it a little bit wide, and it looks like I do. So I'm going to trim just the tiniest bit off of here. I usually cut a little bit wider than what I actually measure, because I'd rather trim it again for it to be too small. Okay, that looks perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and erase my little measure mark there. And then I'm going to ink around this. Now, I'm going to go ahead and ink around it with this. I started to say I could ink around it with our new Tim Holtz color, because it has that color in it, but I've already started with the brown. But I'll try to ink around the other one that we do, the other piece that we do with the new Tim Holtz color. It is absolutely beautiful if you have not seen it yet. It's called Salty. Ooh, what is it called? Salty Ocean? No, hold on. And I'll grab it and I'll tell you. It is called Saltwater Taffy. Lord have mercy. I was way off, wasn't I? He's got one that's Salty Ocean, I think. But okay. So again, put that down flat, but don't go past your little fold here, because if you do, this is not going to fold down flat. That's the color. Look at that. Does that not even look like that you could just take a bite out of it? I love the oxide inks. It looks like you could just eat them. And it would go pretty well with that. All right, now we're going to cover this little part right here. And I'm thinking that might work right there. That little piece. That way we use up all the scraps, and we don't waste anything. I don't know. I'm not sold on that piece there, though. Let's try something different. Okay, I have just grabbed a few pieces of paper that I have left from some of Susan's other kits. And what I'm going to do is use that right there. I think that would look better as a little flap than what I had in mind. And I'm just going to cut a piece. Yes, I like that. Okay, I'm going to glue that on. Now I just leave it the size that it is, and then when I put it down, then I trim it. And I just want to make sure that I get this on there because I like that. Okay, then I just push that one back. Don't fold that one. The back one, don't fold that piece. I just kind of push it back without folding it, and then just trim. Now you could measure if you wanted, but I'd rather do it this way. And then up here at the top, I'm just going to go ahead and trim that off right even with the piece there, piece of the envelope. So there is our little flap. See, I like that much better. You've got that green or olive almost that's down here. I like that better. I'm going to go ahead and run a little bit of ink right on the edge of that, just so any part that I might have cut, that if I didn't get it cut exactly right, I'll have it covered up with ink. Now, that's going to stick down because you just have to run your bone folder over it nice and tight and see it lays down perfectly. Now we need to cover back here, and trying to see if I had any scrap pieces that I might could use there. I could probably use that one. The stem is sideways, but I don't think it would hurt anything at all. We'll just use that one. Now on this one, I like for it to go down in there a little ways, so I'm not sure. No, that's not going to go far enough down in there. So let's grab another scrap. Let's just cut this one off, and I know it'll be sideways, but I think it'll work okay anyway. And we'll cut it off this way. Now this is my method of covering these. You can do it much more perfect than me, but you know, I do not try to be perfect. Alright, that looks good to me right there. Now what I'm going to do is lay that down. I want my rose on there. I want it to show at the top. So I'm just going to lay that down like that. And then hold it as I go around it with my pencil. Okay. And then when I'm trimming this, I'm going to make sure that I trim on the inside of that pencil mark. And I may have to trim a tiny bit more when I finish this, but that's okay if I do. It's not a problem. You just want that part to sit down in there. Nope, it actually goes down in there well. This one fits nice and snug, so I'm not gonna pull it back out. I'm gonna put my glue in under there. Let's see. Hold it up. Put my glue in under. And I'm gonna go ahead and pop it up a little bit more to put my glue on down just a little bit. Not too far where I glue my pocket together, but just a little ways down under here where that goes. And then I'll just make sure that I do this and there's no glue down in there, and it's not. So there's that little part glued down. Go ahead and run your ink around that a little. And that looks good to me. I'm going to put something right here because I feel like that little spot is empty. I actually think I like that little ticket there. I just need to trim the sides off to make it look a little bit more like a ticket or a stamp instead of a I just cut, when I have these pieces like this, I just cut them just squared off, and then when I start to use them, I use my little decorative scissors to trim it into stamp shape. Put a little ink around that so it'll cover up any of that white that we missed. And then I think I'll put that right there. I like that. It's got that green that pulls it all through. It's got the white that's white here, so I like that. I think I want a little bit of something behind it, so let me look and see what I have. Okay, I'm thinking about just a tiny little piece of book page. Let's try to tear it just a little bit of an angle like this. Yeah, I kind of like that. And I'm going to let it run off the side, and then I'll just trim off any extra that I have. And run off the bottom too. Like that. Oh, a lot of you have asked about Alicia and Whit. And I don't know, I thought I had told in one of my videos when everything was over with, but evidently I didn't. Maybe I just posted it and forgot about telling you guys. But thankfully, thank you guys so much for all of your prayers. Alicia and Whit are both doing great. Whit came through all of his procedures well. Alicia's test came back benign, so everything is great. They are absolutely beside themselves. They're so happy, and me too. Mama too. Okay, we're going to put that down just like that. So thank you guys all who have asked and prayed and all of that. We really appreciate it. That's so sweet of you to think about my kiddos and my hubby. All right. I think that's all I'm going to do to it. I'll probably put a word or something on here when I start to put it in my journal, but look at that. Aren't they pretty? And they're quick and easy pockets. This one I made a little bit shorter than the other one, but you can make them whatever height you want. Just make sure that they fit inside your journal. Oh yeah, we did put some trim on that other one, so let's put a little piece of vintage lace on this one. I'm thinking on this one I'm just going to run it across the bottom because I like the look of it going across the bottom. So how many of you hide things from yourself? I do it all the time. I bought a new bottle of acetone because I had used all of my other up. Because I have a little bit of Fabrifix in another jar that I didn't get used up, and it's probably sat a couple of years, and I wanted to go ahead and put some acetone in it. Well, I bought a new bottle. It came in. When it came in, I didn't have time to fool with it, so I put it up. Well, now I can't find it. I put it up, hid it from myself. Okay, that there. And then, of course, a little piece of bling. So I have hid it. You know, I try to keep it out of the reach of my grandkids. Of course, they're old enough to know not to get into it, but I've done that for so many years. That's just what I still do. So I put it up when it came in, and now I cannot find it anywhere. I have turned my office and my shop upside down. I know it's here. I just don't know what I did with it. Is that a sign of getting old or what? All right, there is that one. Isn't that cute? I just love how quick they come together. Now, we're going to lay that aside, and now we're going to work on one of these. Now, these come together really quick and easy. And I usually take these pieces of envelope that I haven't been using for anything else. Like this one is large and I don't use it. And so I take these pieces of envelope, and you need to start out with a squared off edge, which that looks pretty good. That I can still save because I can make that into a pocket, a short pocket. I know we shouldn't save everything, but I do. Okay, I'm going to let this one be a little bit taller, I think. And I'm going to go ahead and trim off some of this side too, because I don't want that quite as wide as it's showing there. There we go. Now you have something that looks like this, so you can use both sides of it if you want. I normally just use the front side, and I cut off this back one. And that's what I'm going to do with this one too. Okay. So we have this. Now this one has some black writing on there that we know we want to cover up. So what I will do first is I'm going to find an image that I want to go behind it. Now this is from a piece of Susan's paper. Again, I know I use a lot of her paper, but I absolutely love it. And I think I want to use that back there. Isn't that pretty? I mean, that's absolutely gorgeous to me. That would go with just about anything. So what I'm going to do, before I even decide how big I want this, I'm going to go ahead and glue it down to my image. Now I'm just going to go pretty close to those edges, but not all the way, because I don't want my glue seeping out into the window. So just go pretty close. And I'm going to try to get some of the butterfly, some of the nest, some of everything by just putting it down like this. I do have my little silicone mat, my little glue mat. This is the one I glue on. It's a little piece. I'll have that down because I know I would get really gluey. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Now, I probably wouldn't have used this piece just by itself. I may have made a belly band out of it, but to me, this is gorgeous. Now, I just need to trim this off. Okay, let's go ahead and cover the back. And I think this piece, yes. Yeah, that piece will work. And then I can just trim off any little bit that is still hanging over. And this piece you can journal on. So we're going to go ahead and put a cover on it. You could use coffee dyed paper on the back. Whatever paper that you want. I'm just using up my scraps. Now, I'm going to cut that off, and I can just do that with my scissors, hopefully, if I can see well enough. Maybe one more pair of glasses would do it. And then I think I'll just trim a little bit off at the top because the back is a little bit smaller than the front. All right, we have this. I'm going to let that dry a little bit, and I am going to round my corners. But first, I'm just going to let it dry while I decide what I want to do down through here. Now, you can do lots of different things. You can just collage that if you want. You can put book page on it. You can, if it's, now, this one I didn't put, well, I put some things on there, but I didn't put a lot because it didn't have any writing on there. But that's up to you. There's lots of different ways that you can cover that. You know, we could even put a piece of book page down through there. But I'm thinking I'm just going to use some of these scraps and cover it up. That's got some purple in it, so let's just maybe come back with that. I still think, yes, I'll still be able to keep my butterfly, but I can cover that like that, I think. Oh, maybe this side. This side better. Much better. Keeps it from looking quite so busy. And I will lose a tiny bit of this butterfly, but that's okay. Now I know we have covered these like this before, and we have made something similar to this, but this is just what I was thinking of today, that I'm out of these. I don't have any more because I was looking for one to use in the journal that I'm making. Didn't have any more, so I thought, well, while I'm making them, I'll just turn the camera on. There we go. We've got that side, and now we need to cover this side over here. So this is, let's see how wide it is, and we'll just cut that piece somewhat near that width, and then we'll put it down. I think I'm going to slide that down a little bit and get rid of that dark pink that's at the bottom. And that butterfly can still be there. That'll work. You see how I'm driving my glue? I'm terrible. Terrible today anyway. Try to get rid of the words and then this dark pink that's at the bottom. And that way I will still have my butterfly and my little stripes here. There we go. Oh, I like that. I do. Now we could put this across here. I think I'm going to use this little scrap up here. So I'm going to cut that off right there. Just use all of those bits and pieces. So Brooklyn is back on the bus today. I'll give y'all a little bit of Brooklyn update while we are covering this. She is back on the bus today and she is excited. She didn't get to go last weekend because she had a lot of things that she needed to catch up on. I think schoolwork mainly. So she had to stay home with her dad last weekend. But this weekend she worked really hard all week, so she got everything caught up. And so Alicia said she said, well, y'all can go. Y'all can go. So she is on the move with Mom, Dad, and as she calls Melina, Nani and Uncle Brandon. And they are having a time, I tell you. Those kids are something else. She just gets beside herself when it's time to go on a trip. Any kind of trip. That kid loves to travel as much as I do. I told her when all of this mess that's going on in our world was over with, I said, you and I are going to go on a cruise. She said, Nene, for real? I said, oh yeah. And I said, the thing of it is, we might let some of the other ones go with us, and we might not. She said, oh, that would be so much fun, Nene. She said, when do you think this is going to be over with so that we can go? I said, I don't know, but I wish it was over with now. But she's excited. I'm just trying to find a piece that I can use down here at the bottom that kind of goes, but doesn't blend too much. So I use this little piece, I think. So I know she will be ready to go when everything straightens up a little bit. And Nene will be too. I want to do another crafting cruise. That's so much fun. Okay, trim that off. And like I said, this is not something, I didn't have to do this on the other one because my other one didn't have any writing on there, but if you have to do it, I mean, it still looks really pretty, doesn't it? Now, you don't have to round the corners. I'm going to, just simply because I like the look of the rounded corners, but you can just leave them square if you want. See, I like that rounded look a lot better. I didn't realize I had a yellow butterfly there and a yellow one there, but it'll be okay. Oh, I was going to use the new ink on this, wasn't I? Oh well, we'll use the new ink next week. I've got some things I'm going to do with some ink tips that's coming up on our tips, tricks, and techniques. I'll be using some different inks next week, so we'll check that out then. Now, on this one, I want a little bit of lace, and I'm thinking I might just want a little piece somewhere. And I think I have just some right here that I can use. Maybe a little piece at the bottom. And then Aaron, I did post some things about Aaron the other day. A lot of people are saying, well, you've got to talk more about Aaron. I haven't heard about him in a while. He has been working over here a lot. He, we're getting ready to send out his March AJ kits. So he's been working over here a lot, putting boxes together and he helped his mom pick out all of the product and getting that separated and ready to go in the packages because they ship out, I think, next week. And so he's been working on that a lot. And he's also been working over here. He cleans my house. So he works over here and he does that on Wednesdays. And then he cleans the shop usually on Fridays for us, or the store. I call it a shop. And it's a store, but he cleans our store on Fridays, and he also checks in orders now. So we have taught him how to, take the order page where we place the orders and everything that's come in and check it off and mark it down. So he does that and gets everything ready for his mom to put it in the computer. So he does that now. I mean, he's a lot of help to us, a lot of help. And he's a big old boy, so he can pick up all those heavy boxes where me and Papa cannot. So, and he doesn't mind doing it at all. So we have fun. I'm going to put a little eyelet in here, and I'm going to use kind of that same pale yellow that's there. Going to push that through, and then I use my little eyelet setter, and I almost put it in the wrong spot. There we go. So that is done, and then we can just use a little bulb clip, and I thought I had one more here on my desk, but I think I've misplaced it. So let's just grab another bulb clip in there, and you could put some little beads on the bulb clip if you wanted to. That'd be cute. So there is our little piece that can hang down. Now, they can journal on the back of this. You can hang it on a pocket. You can hang it on the side of your journal. You can hang it at the top of one of your pages. Whatever you would like to do. And they're just cute, and it's just another way to use up those little pieces of scrap. Okay, so that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And I can show you how I would put these in my journal. Let me find my journal and I'll figure it out. Here we go. So let's just say I would probably put this pocket on one of these coffee dyed pages like that. And you can either glue it all the way down, or you can glue it down here and leave this side as a little tuck. Any way that you want to do it, and then make a large tag to go in there. Now this, like I said, you can hang it just about anywhere. But if I wanted to hang it on the top of that, I could hang it over here, make a little hole, just put your bulb clip through there, and it'll hang on there. We'll get it back in frame. Hang on there like that. Or you could leave the eyelet out altogether and just tuck it into a little pocket. You could put it on your front page. Lots of different ways that you could use these. But you can see they're cute on the page. And, I mean, I just like them. And you're using up some of those scraps that's laying around all over. But, let's see. This would be really pretty in the center of your journal. Some of the same colors there, though. Isn't that pretty? So that's how I would use them in my journal. And like I said, I would put a large, tall tag in here in these to make sure that my seam binding hung out the top of the journal. That is it. And by the way, this journal has already been spoken for, and I have sent you, I had like 6 people that emailed me, and maybe more. I only seen 6 emails. I have emailed you back, so make sure that you check your spam folder just in case it went to spam. But I have emailed you back and let you know that you was the first one to comment that you wanted it. So I just have to go by first come, first serve. And I'll be finishing this journal up probably this weekend and putting a cover on it, and it'll be ready to go. But that's it, guys, on this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and we will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.